Okay, so Josh, did growing up Gen X mean that we skipped figuring out who we are because we were too busy just surviving?
Pretty much.
Pretty much, right?
Mm,
Like, what age did you find that you like really started to get to know yourself and
like,
figure out who you were and what made you tick and stuff?
you mean like maturity? Like wise?
No, because you can be immature and still know who you are and what you want to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
maturity level has anything to do with it
I think
necessarily.
I only started caring when I started, like I don't know, like it's just a big blur. I only started like when I was like maybe like living on St. John's. I don't know.
Okay, so you were in your 20s,
Yeah,
mid 20s?
yeah, around then, around there, I started to care.
Yeah.
You?
I think it was it's funny cuz like I don't know. I was like I don't want to use this as an excuse, but it just is what it is. Like I was really young when I had my first kids, so I feel like my life was kind of like focused on raising and making sure she was okay.
For sure.
So it was kind of like not really focusing too much on myself. So I would say my 30s
Mm,
for sure.
mm.
I at least started thinking about like myself a little bit more, but it's really only been fairly recently in my 40s that I figured out what I want to do, like what makes me happy.
What is it that you want to do?
Okay, so let me take that back. I actually don't know what I want to do. Or the fact that I would love to do certain things, but it just is what it is. Like I can't do that right
Do you
now.
mean like work wise, or do you
Yeah,
mean
like to
like
restart work-wise seems quite it's just not something that I want to focus on right now because there are plenty of people that reinvent themselves in their 40s and the 50s and 60s even.
yeah?
And so never want to discount that because those are all great things, but I think in terms of what's a priority to me,
Mm-hmm.
that that aspect is not as important to me as other things.
Okay.
Like having my creativity, being able to like focus on myself a little bit more in terms of my growth, what I love, all that stuff.
Mm,
My relationships, that stuff really means a lot to me right now.
mm-hmm.
That's what I want to focus on.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely, I feel like there's like tears. I've had like tears of life. Do you ever feel like
Mm.
that?
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely before kids and after kids is a tear,
yeah,
all on its own for sure.
yeah. I think for me, at least work wise, I was very lucky. I found something that I really enjoyed from the
Yeah,
beginning almost, you know?
yeah.
So,
And you focused on it and just went for it.
yeah,
It's kind of cool.
yeah. So for that reason, that's I'm lucky.
I'm curious though because you have expressed in the past, that you're not you never considered yourself very smart, like you had a hard time in school,
Mm-hmm.
right? So where did the drive come from and where did you go to get it within yourself?
You mean like for the dog,
To yes,
for
to
what I
because
do?
so a lot of people might say, "Oh, I love this," and then it just stays there.
Mm.
But you took that and made it like you had the drive, you had the whatever, to
Yeah.
like focus on growing that and so a determination, that's the word I was looking for,
Mm.
determination. So where did you get that and at what stage in your life did you hone in on that to like really
Well, I think it is part of the reason in the sense of not feeling smart, not, knowing how to express or communicate what I needed to. So I guess dog training made me kind of think of the same thing. So dogs are difficult to understand. Communication can be all crisscrossy. And so I noticed that I was good at it, and, that I could help people, like, me being a misfit of communication, so to speak. And, so I kind of related dogs to me in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of something that just clicked, and so I never really, it was never a problem for me to just kind of devote everything, every moment, and forget about friendships and forget about everything else and just focus on that. Because, I've always felt very fortunate about it. So, yeah.
Yeah. I guess maybe could it be that because you didn't necessarily feel that kind of connection with something growing up, that when you finally did have that connection, that you just kind of held on to it and wouldn't let it go? Like that was where the determination and
Yeah, I think
whatever
so.
came from? Like,
I think so. Plus, I guess from working at places and stuff, I knew that I'm not good at playing by the rules. You know, I wasn't good at playing by the rules. I wasn't good at following someone. You know, it was just something I wasn't good at. And so when in school people look at that as someone who is unruly, who doesn't want to listen, and da 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 da,
yeah.
but it's not. It's the heart of an entrepreneur. I mean, they don't follow the rules. That's why there's so little of them, and the ones that do make it, they're huge. You know, I mean, because they don't follow the rules. If we followed the rules, then no one would have money.
Yeah.
Not like that, at least. Like Mark Cuban or whatever,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's funny because when I think of something that like really like makes an like something that really makes an impact with me,
Hmm.
if I were to think about what I would want to do, let's say for the rest of my life, kind of thing, if I could redo or start over, I feel like it would definitely be something in like helping people, so like I don't know, like I've thought about therapist, I've thought about healer, like massage therapy, I've thought about like all different kinds of things.
Mm.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, like you said, it's never too late.
Yeah, but I think that's just part of me feels like, okay, but then you're still just focusing on other people.
Yeah,
You know what I
but
mean? And it's like, okay, at this stage, like focus on yourself. So I feel like this is why this podcast, for example, is kind of like a happy medium. It brings out some of the things that I want
mhm,
and that make me feel good, and that like give me confidence. But yet at this, but yet at the same time, it can also maybe, who knows,
mhm,
who out there might be listening and think, even just in a comic relief kind of way, right? Like,
mhm.
oh, they're funny, that made me feel better, or whatever, or somebody else is going through the same kind of thing,
Yeah,
right? I'm not alone. That kind of stuff. I always feel like that's that's helpful in some way too,
yeah.
right?
But I mean, what you said before, you make it sound like helping people is like you're over that, kind of thing,
No,
or because you're focusing on yourself or whatever. But it's two separate things, and it's like business is all about helping someone. I mean, no one does something for you in your business. You know what I mean? Like they're buying it because you're helping them. So,
no, yes, I understand that. I guess it's because everybody's on their own path and their own journey, right?
hmm
And for for myself, the path that I have been on has felt primarily like I'm I'm focused on everybody else but myself.
hmm
And so now it's kind of like I want to flip that. I'm not saying fuck everybody else.
hmm
It's all about me. But I do think I deserve and should have a little bit of space in this whatever dome that I've created of life, right?
Yeah.
And so to me, it's more like, okay, how can I, because my go-to is always, let's take care of other people, right? Let's take care of all the things,
Yeah.
right? In every way. And so instead of doing that, why don't I look at it the flip side? What's making me happy and making me thrive so I can then all again be better and give more to the people around me, right?
Yeah.
Where as opposed to running on empty all the time because I'm not giving myself anything, but I'm always giving everybody else things. Does that
Are
make
you-
sense?
It does, but are you
So-
talking like personal life or are you talking about business?
I'm talking about
Both?
across the board. You know?
Yeah. Because I guess for me,
If you're burnt out, Josh, like when I'm burnt out,
Mm-hmm.
it affects everything. It affects my entire life, professional and personal.
what burns you out?
Not giving myself what I need. I feed myself. I'm clean. I clothe myself. I keep myself warm, and that's about it. But there's got to be more, like the spiritual aspect of it, right? For your soul,
Yeah.
for your being, for your happiness. There's got to be something more.
For
Can't
sure.
just be it can't just be about your husband and your kids and your work all the time. It's got to be about other things.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like I of course want that. I want to continue to give to my kids and my relationships and my work and all of that stuff, but I've learned I have to be feeding myself in different ways, not just actual food, right? Like I have to be feeding myself different things to replenish so that I can then go out and be better in all of those other ways. So that's what I'm saying in terms of like yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what else was I. I think it's different too for men and women. I don't by no means want to take away from the male experience, but I think a lot of women can relate to what I'm saying. You know, you kind of get lost along the way,
For sure.
you know?
Yeah.
So,
I think men and women, for sure.
well, yeah,
Get
I'm not,
lost.
I can't relate to men in that respect. I don't know what they think or how they feel or what they're, you know, what the society is.
Well, we don't talk about that.
Well, exactly, right? So I can only speak for myself and for like-minded female opinions. Do you think like now that we're adults and we have our own families, looking back at how we grew up with mom and dad, obviously it wasn't even like in our peripheral to think about what they were thinking or feeling or going through. But now as adults looking back on it, do you think that they went through the same shit?
Yeah. For sure.
And why is it that nobody, you know, talks about that stuff? Do you think we talk about it more now? I know we didn't then.
Well, we definitely talk about feelings a lot more now than we did before.
Do you talk about your feelings to your kids?
Sometimes.
Like even just, and I'm not saying like, oh, I'm depressed because of blah, blah, blah. But I mean more like, I've worked a hard day and I'm tired and I just want to, you know, sit and relax and have fun with you guys. Like I don't want to, like even just your everyday stuff. Do you talk to your kids about it or bring it up or?
I mean, it depends. Like if they say like, I want to play Roblox with you or something, I'll be like, guys, I don't want to right now or whatever, But, I think not that I'm tooting my own horn or anything. I think I'm very in tune with how they're feeling though. I can understand them for what they are and who they are, and I can kind of just kind of look and gauge where they are mentally. So I think I'm I'm just very empathetic. So in that regard, I can really read, and plus my business is all about reading people. You know, so it's just I can kind of tell when I'm looking at someone if they're there, if they're not there, if they're not feeling great or whatever. You know, so for that reason, like yeah, you know, I kind of talk a lot about things. So if I say something and I can tell it came off wrong or, you know, whatever, I'll usually say something afterwards. I'll be like, look, you know, I said what I said because of XYZ. I shouldn't have, or maybe da na na na. So, you know, things like that.
Do you apologize to your kids?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think there's a lot of power in saying, "I'm sorry. That wasn't cool of me. You know, I lost my. I was upset and
I think so too.
yeah,
It lets them know they're not crazy.
not crazy, but also it lets them know that we as adults are not perfect. I think I grew up to a certain extent thinking that mom and dad were perfect. They never fucked up. They were always right. And it's like kind of sobering when you realize, when you get to the point, whatever age that is, that you realize, oh, fuck, they don't know everything. And they fuck up and they, you know, they make mistakes. And
Yeah.
so, yeah. I think, Riley walks around thinking he needs to know everything and that he should be perfect at everything from the first try. And it's just like, kid, like we're, you know, your parents in our 40s and we're still fucking up. We
Yeah.
still make mistakes, you know, like
They don't understand that though.
they don't understand that. And how do you parent that out of them? You know what I mean?
You don't. You know, you just keep going. You know, and
And then they end up in therapy.
No, then they're going to learn through the trial and error that, okay, it takes practice.
Yeah, but as a parent watching it, it's hard because you're just making yourself.
Yeah.
It's just you're making things harder for yourself when you don't need to, you know?
Yeah.
It's life experience, I guess. Were you the same person at 12, 22 now? Or have you reinvented yourself more times than MSN passwords? I've definitely reinvented myself a lot
I'd
over the
say
years.
I was always the same. I think I only reinvented myself maybe a few years ago, to be honest. Besides that, I think I was pretty much exactly the same in many ways.
Yeah. I've reinvented myself a lot. Way too much. Both professionally and personally. You know, always like adjusting over the years.
It's good though.
It is. It is. It helps to figure out what it is that you want versus don't want.
Yeah.
Like versus don't like. All that stuff. What works, what doesn't. Okay. You ready for our this or that face off? Okay, do you want to start off?
All right. Reinvent yourself at 40 or double down on who you've always been.
Reinvent yourself at 40 for me.
Okay.
What about you?
I'd say double down. There's maybe just a splash of reinvent, but it's not even really reinvent. It's just like some extra things that I'm interested in.
Adjustments.
Yeah, but it's pretty much double down. You know, like I said, I'm lucky
Yeah.
with a lot of things. So
Therapist's couch or wandering Walmart at midnight?
like inside Walmart?
First of all, that doesn't happen. Not here.
Yeah, but wandering Walmart at midnight kind of sounds fun.
It does sound fun, eh?
I think I would take that.
I'm going to say therapist's couch.
All right, new hobby or new personality?
New hobby for sure.
New hobby, same.
Yeah. Midlife crisis car or midlife crisis haircut? I'm all about the haircut.
I'll go with the car.
Oh, sorry, it's your turn.
Living for your kids' schedule or reclaiming your own?
Okay, so this is where it gets tricky because I'm going to say half-half. I'm going to say half-half.
Okay.
What about you?
I mean, I'm going to say reclaiming your own.
Reclaiming your own schedule?
Yeah, I mean, it's okay that they have things in the schedule and everything, but, you know, you have to take care of you if you're going to take care of them,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think both are equally important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dream job pivot or stable paycheck safety?
Well, I'm never in the stable paycheck area, so dream job pivot for sure.
Yeah. I'm more on the stable paycheck safety.
Decluttering phase or nostalgia hoarder?
I'm a nostalgia hoarder.
I'm in a decluttering phase right now.
Are you?
Yeah, I don't like clutter anymore, where a few years ago I could care less. The place could look crazy and I'd be like, whatever. Now it hurts my brain.
Yeah. Instagram comparison spiral or Facebook oversharing? I'm going to do Instagram spiral.
Same.
Yeah. It's more fun.
Yeah, it is. Empty nest freedom or sandwich generation burnout?
I'm looking, listen, I don't want to sound ungrateful, but I'm looking forward to an empty nest freedom. There's a little bit of daydreaming going on my end in terms of what I would like to do. And I don't even, listen, I'm pretty far away from empty nest. Like, I mean, nowadays kids stay with until their 20s, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a ways away from empty nest. But there's a difference between having your kids, your older kids live with you and having to like take care of them every day.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So I feel like empty nest in that respect is pretty close. It's close that I'm looking forward to it a little. Looking back but what about you?
I don't mind them. They could live with me for as long as they want.
Yeah, but that's not the question.
I know, but
Okay, you're going to answer that
it's like in the middle.
in the middle.
Yeah.
Looking back or starting over?
I never look back.
I know.
So I guess I would start over.
I've done both. I think you have to look back in order to start over. Because if you start over, you have to know what direction to go in. And if you, I mean, you can't know how to start over if you haven't looked back slightly,
Well,
right?
looking back and learning from your mistakes is two different things. You know? You learn from your mistakes as you go. That doesn't mean you have to look back.
Okay.
It depends, I guess.
Yeah, it
Right?
depends. Yeah. But starting over. I'm going to go with that one. Yeah. Our dear siblings letter for the week. I'll read it this time, okay?
Okay.
Dear siblings, I thought I had my life figured out by 40, but now I feel like I'm living someone else's script. I'm burnt out at work, restless in my marriage, and I can't tell if this is depression, a midlife crisis, or just adulthood. How do you even know who you are anymore? Signed, Searching. Well, you are not alone. That's for sure. I think it's I don't have to think. It is a very common shared experience amongst everyone
Yeah.
that reaches the age of 40-ish to look at their life and want to adjust. I think it's very common,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, I think we've all been there for sure. But
Absolutely.
like when I hear stuff like, you know, I feel like I'm living someone else's script. I'm burnt out from work, restless in my marriage. I feel like that tells me that possibly, I don't know, you know, I'm not a psychologist, but it makes me feel like this person is trying to do things for other people and trying to get some kind of recognition from that. And if they're not getting the recognition from that, then they feel burnt out. Because you don't feel burnt out if you love doing it. if you love doing whatever that is. At least from my standpoint in business, you know, if I love doing it, it doesn't come to burnout. You know, it's when you hate it and it's every day and they're taking all the energy out of you. But when you love it, it gives you the energy. Like you don't go into burnout. So the way I look at this letter is that the person needs to start focusing on themselves a little bit and not just working for others, whether that's personal or business or whatever, you know, and look into what, you know, makes you tick and so on. And it's never easy, and it's always like, you know, oh, I can't do that. I have XYZ, and I have to do this, and I have to do that. Well, you know, I mean, in the plane, that's why, you know, that's what happens when you're putting the oxygen on someone else before you. You know, I mean, you got to do it first. You got to have the tank around your face first, or else, you know.
Yeah,
So
that's true. I think if I can just speak from my own experience, just don't stop at what you're feeling. Dig deeper. And it'll, through trial and error, I think it's important to figure out, go back to basics, figure out what you liked, what you enjoyed. Sometimes it's going back 10, 20 years. What did I used to find fun that I don't do anymore? You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Reading a book, like reading books, or, you know, even just making it a point to go out for coffee or dinner with friends on a more regular basis, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then process of elimination. Okay, you did that for a bit and it's not giving you any results, so maybe try a new hobby or whatever, right? Sometimes, in my experience, sometimes by focusing a little bit more on hobbies and what makes you happy and fills your cup a little bit more, somehow, in some way, shape, or form, then allows every like the other things in your life to not be so dim. You know?
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be an overhaul. It can just be some minor adjustments. That's going to be my advice. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Why are we like this, Josh? Why did every adult ask us, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like we'd have it figured out at 8. It's true, eh?
Yeah.
Why do we ask our kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? Maybe, you know what, actually, I've got the answer. At least to why I do it. It's to get them to dream.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think dreaming is very important. I think, though, we also do that for other reasons.
Like what?
I think we're programmed. I think we're programmed to do that so that
There's a plan.
so that there's plan and so that, you know, I feel like this is part of school, the school democracy of how they've programmed us, you know, and, you know, they make school, at least this is just my own little conspiracy,
Okay.
you know, they kind of make school like work. You have a lunch break, you can't talk in class, you know, there's certain rules, and it's just like the workplace, you know, and so schools are programming you to work for the man, so to speak.
Okay.
And so the whole point of what do you want to be when you grow up is like you need to have everything figured out. You need to be in school, you know. I think it's just a big charade of money, and it's all, you know, I'm obviously pro school for my kids. You know, obviously I'm not saying like in the sense like, you know, I don't bring my kids to school you know?
Yeah, no, I know
But
what you
I
mean,
guess,
yeah.
you know, just me as an entrepreneur, I guess I've realized over the time, it's like, huh, it's like, you know, it feels like a little bit of a scam, you know? Unless you're becoming a doctor or like a lawyer or something along those lines where you need that thing in order to pursue that work.
Yeah.
And not that an 8-year-old is going to figure that out by then. But, you know, like Jet wants to be a politician. He wants to be the government. He says he's going to ban tax.
Oh, I love this kid.
He said he's going to ban smoking.
Yeah.
So no smoking in Canada.
Wow.
I told him, I said, the government's going to hate you. I said, but we're going to love you, you know. But yeah, you know, so it's great that he has these dreams and ambitions and so on, you know, and don't get me wrong, you know,
And they'll
but
probably change 20 times before,
maybe,
and maybe they won't.
yeah, maybe,
But
you know,
yeah,
but yeah, yeah.
I, I, here's my question to you. How much of the way that you think about school is because of your own childhood experience with school and education?
I don't think it has a lot to do with it because I never thought about school like that until like my later years.
Okay.
When you know you see the statistics of how many people have a degree and can't get a job or don't use it, and they're doing something entirely different because school programmed you to go do it, get a bank, and the banks work with the schools, and it's all a big, you
Yeah.
know, monopoly, you know, and student loans, right, and all that crap. So I just feel like no, like I mean, I obviously have a spot for school in general, just because, you know, I don't think I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but for me at least, like I can't do what I do and look at school the same way. Like entrepreneurship, like, you know, we're going against the grain. You know, we don't have lunch breaks. You know, we don't have like it's not the same thing. You know, it's structure, you know. There's no structure in business, you know, at least building it from the ground up, you know. Structure might come a little bit later when you have people in place, you know, but you have to bend the rules, and I don't think there's rules to that you can bend in school. And so, you know, if you're not academically good enough, you know, for whatever, then it's like, oh, well, you know, you're not passing. And it puts so much pressure on kids where they feel like they're a fuck up. And that might be where I relate to it more.
I I've been guilty of asking the kids like, "Oh, what do you want to be when you grow up?" But
Me too.
like I said, you know, it's more of just of like um, um, a bonding thing more so than anything. Like, let's talk, you know, like dream and think about things and like have imagination, right? And like, I mean, let's face it, the go to career nowadays, this generation is like a YouTuber, you know, or like an influencer or whatever the case. Oh my God, can I tell you what Grayson? So it's back to school. He filled out the, you know, we have the little screen, like, I am 8 years old, I'm going to grade, whatever, right? And take pictures of it and everything. And one of the things was, what I want, when I grow up, I want to be blah. He says, I said, okay, what do you want to put in your box? You know, he says, stay at home dad. I died. I was like, really? It's like, yeah, I want to be stay at home dad. Where he got this from, I don't know. But I thought it was the most adorable thing.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, why not? Right?
Yeah.
Like,
That's awesome.
I know. I just thought it was so, it was,
And
yeah.
what was
It took me
Riley's
aback a little bit, but not in a bad way. It was just kind of like, oh, wow, I was expecting YouTuber, you know?
what was Riley's?
YouTuber.
Fallon is a boxer.
No way.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get her into boxing classes while
Good
she's
for
young.
her.
Yeah,
Good for her.
she wants to be
And
a
what about
boxer.
Jet? Jet's politician?
Politician.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find that sometimes you'll take that like, oh, I want to be this when I grow up, and then it becomes like set in stone.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, even your extracurriculars at 8, 9, 10 years old are focused on this one thing that you may or may not do in 20 years.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's a little much, I think.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I
Of it.
think that's a lot of pressure on kids to, listen. We've already established I still don't know what I want to do, and I'm in my 40s. Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with
So,
that.
but that's what I'm saying. How do you expect a kid to know?
They won't.
So, yeah. So we learned to tie self-worth to gold stars, and now we can't function without them. Remember those little charts?
Mm-hmm.
You got a star if you did good, and if you didn't do good, then you didn't get a star.
Yeah.
Those were embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember those. I was like, man, like if I didn't have as many stars as the other kids, you were the loser that didn't have enough stars.
Yeah.
That's kind of shitty, eh?
But, it was shitty, but also, maybe in some ways it made you work harder.
No,
No?
no. It made me more into my own shell,
Yeah.
you know? Some kids, it would. I'd be like, no, I'm gonna fucking get that star. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
competition comes out a little bit, right?
Yeah.
For myself, that was actually the opposite. Just retreated into myself more and more. You? Did you have that like competition like that?
No, not really.
No way.
No, not at that time. No. I didn't like doing things by the book. I never did. I never did. So.
How do you raise a kid like that?
Like what?
That's always,
Against the grain?
yeah.
You go with it.
You don't want to kill it, right?
No.
Because I think there are some really great qualities that are not so fun to deal with when they're children, but will take you fucking far when you're adults. So you definitely don't want to kill it out of them.
No.
But how do you like?
First off, I don't think you can. I don't think you can kill it out of them.
I think you can. You'd be surprised what you can do to kill a kid's spirit.
Well,
Sometimes it doesn't take much, Josh.
I feel like I was always against the grain.
And so how did mom and dad deal with, what is something that mom and dad did in raising you that you kind of appreciate now? That nurtured that?
I don't know. I think they came to, the realization that Josh isn't going to change.
So they just gave up.
No, not give up. They didn't give up. They just said that doing it by the book is not going to work.
Yeah.
So, they didn't.
When did you stop high school? Grade 10?
I think it was grade 9.
And how did mom and dad deal with that?
Get a job.
Because I was in my early 20s, so I don't really remember that stage of kind of going through my own thing at the time.
Yeah.
So let's finish with the pop culture rewind. Back to the year 1997. You were 13.
Yeah.
I was 19. Yeah. Spice Girls Wannabe.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Puff Daddy, I'll Be Missing You. Can you believe it was from 97?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I saw that. I was like, what?
Hanson, oh my god.
Bop, yeah. And Jewel. You were meant for me. Jewel, Sarah McLachlan, all like the Lilith Fair. That was my jam in 97. Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Your favorite.
of course. South Park debuts. And then Friends, obviously, was like peak obsession at that point. Movies, Titanic. Good Will Hunting. Can you believe that was fucking 97?
Yeah, my god.
Men in Black, My Best Friend's Wedding. The fads were beepers, Tamagotchis, chokers,
No.
and Doc Martens were still around.
AOL chat room.
Yeah, MSN chat rooms.
Oh my
The
god.
You've Got Mail logo, like,
Oh jeez.
and then
Wow.
all the teen magazines. I was, you probably didn't have teen magazines. I was big time into the teen magazines. 17, YM, all the quizzes, telling me what I could be when I grow up.
Oh my gosh.